Hey, what's up, guys? Had another video I was working on, kind of all set to go, but figured I'd take a break on that and knock this one out real quick because most of you guys watch my video, but at this point probably have already heard. But the rapper Pumpkinhead has passed on. He's died, and so took a look at my blog, got nothing on him, and I mean, there's tons and tons of rappers and compelling rappers and good rappers even, and it's just always like you'd look at someone like Pumpkinhead and say, you know what, I'll just get to him another day, I'll do a post, but today's the day. So take a look at some of his records, and maybe not necessarily his rarest records. He's a real underground guy. He's been around for a long time, so probably even some of his later records are actually more obscure or lesser known. But instead of sort of going for like the most obscure, rare thing, like sometimes I tend to do, I figured just look at some classics, just look at some history. Just his first two core singles. Just from saying that, you probably already know which records I'm talking about. But for one thing, probably younger audiences probably know Pumpkinhead basically is just a battle rapper. Certainly in this day and age, he's one of those guys who you always would see on YouTube on those like grind time and whatever other videos, battling heads. And probably people really just kind of know him from him, but certainly he's been in the music business for a long time in the industry, putting out albums on various independent labels and goes all the way back to the 90s. And, I'll keep it 100. I haven't even necessarily picked up every single one of his CDs. I mean, he's one of those guys, you see his album come out and you'd be like, all right, well, I don't necessarily need that right now, and you kind of forget about it and move on. But these two records right here totally belong in everybody's collection. Absolutely classics, especially if you're into 90s hip-hop, hardcore, lyrical kind of stuff at all. That sort of semi-backpackery, but more, credibility, focus on lyrics, kind of punchline-y for sure. Talking about his first two records on the label Makin' Records, starting right here, Dynamic. So this is his very first single, 1997, again, Makin' Records, and this is actually also the label, Makin' Records, one of their earliest releases. Not their first one, of course, that was Negro League Baseball by National Resource, and that was just a huge, I mean, these guys came out of nowhere and came out with one, really the greatest records of the decades. Turned out to be completely obscure, independent, nobody heard of the artist, nobody heard of the label or anything, and you say, well, how the hell can you follow that up? And how do they follow it up? With a really strong follow-up, Pumpkinhead, again, who nobody had heard of at the time, Dynamic. And you might notice right here on the label says Pumpkinhead of OBS. So what's OBS? This is them right here. OBS stands for Original Blended Soldier, and it's this group with Bad Seed, Poker Face, those guys. Jean Grey was sort of in it as well. They had this EP right here, came out on Makin' Records a little bit after the Pumpkinhead record. This is a double EP, meaning double vinyl EP, but it's only 4 songs. There's 1 song on each side. It's in the clean, dirty, and instrumental versions. But so that was his clique. He was also in some other kind of cliques like the Brooklyn Academy, which is sort of a more loosely affiliated group of a lot of MCs from Brooklyn. But this was the one he was really repping when he first came out, OBS. Like I said, you see it right on his debut single, Pumpkinhead of OBS. And you'll see OBS turn up on his 2 singles. So back to Dynamic. This is a 2-song single. Dynamic's the A-side. It's Over is the B-side. That's featuring Bad Seed. Bad Seed, again, is one of the guys from OBS. But when you listen to it, he doesn't really rap on here. He's just on the chorus. It's really basically a Pumpkinhead solo track, and Dynamic is completely a Pumpkinhead solo track. It's Over is dope, but Dynamic is the one that really grabs you. It's an incredible instrumental. These freaky backwards horns. It's got a really catchy chorus entirely by Pumpkinhead, and he's got some really nice verses. Now this is 90s, and he's kind of coming up as sort of, like I said, now he's a battle rapper. This is sort of a little prototypical, but all very punchliney, which today maybe doesn't quite hold up. Some kind of cornier stuff like, you fake Tammy Faye's eyelashes and stuff like that. Maybe doesn't hold up so well today, but was definitely impressive in the 90s. And you got a couple versions on here. You got the instrumental, which is classic. You want that. And it's even got a nice acapella. No acapella the B-side, but you do have instrumental in the clean version and dirty version. Really dope 12-inch. Like I said, it's Over pretty good. Dynamic, fantastic. This is one of those, again, never heard of Pumpkinhead, didn't matter. You were just like, wow, I gotta get the single. As soon as you heard it, you're like, who's that? You heard it on a mixtape or something? Bam, Dynamic. So I'm gonna play clips of both right now, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the next record.
I don't wear blue tights, I don't have a red cape. I just sleep over my functions with rhymes I create. Call me Dynamic, who? AKA PH. With the help of Run Shore on the beats and breaks. We're gonna hold it down musically like a paperweight. If you see me in the street and want a battle, we can handle that on a later day. name the steak. Sirloin, pepper, or Devo steak. Don't try to take food off my table, cause we own these plates. Don't got time to sign dotted lines with these phony fakes. So check it. My rhymes are designed to be perfect, or written by why? Why does it secretly purchase? I rap like a kerchief. It's time for this underground merchant to rise to the surface and take the mic day and night. And my only weakness is play a night, blowing up like dynamite. Cause all my rhymes are tight like a vice. Crush your headlights. But under no circumstance, cause it will you ever smash pumpkin. You can't believe this jam's bumping. You better put your hands in the air and ask something or somebody how we rip up the body. These lines burn your insides like Bacardi. I kick fat lines over treble and bass. I don't pack knives to kill my own race. Just when you thought it was safe, Pumpkinhead transforms into that dynamic MC. I'm not the Superman lover or chocolate boy wonder, but I'm dynamic, tossing lines like cucumber and salad. Ha! Oh my goodness! But it's another one. Overtime on the track. Pumpkinhead with the raps. OBS. Original Bunted.
Hey, yo, let these niggas know. It's over. It's over. It's over.
What?
Hit 'em.
How much did you pay to get played on the radio with your 1980s flow? Sounding like cameos. A vet will bring the drama like Juliet and Romeo. Between banging, got you hanging on like a cowboy at the rodeo. Twist your cap like an Oreo. Cut you off like the dreads of OVO. From BK to Tokyo. In Osaka, nigga, I'll bring it proper. One chop ya like the blade on a helicopter. Leaving your girl disfigured like the Phantom of the Opera. I never give any slack like a pair of black lockers. You imposter. You need to improve your lyrical posture. Pumpkinhead representing or making records roster.
Yo, it's over. You ain't get team defeated in this game. It's over. Battle your niggas street top for sober. It's over. Pumpkinhead relate y'all, eager to face y'all, brutally wait y'all, and if they whack, we hate y'all.
I'm about to let you know my flow is so beautiful on the usual. I cut them C's like cuticles with musicals.
Okay, we're back with record number 2. Now you see he's graduated to a sticker cover. Pumpkinhead again, making records again the following year, 1998. Dynamic remix. And then a B-side called Whack Emcees, which again is strong, but not as strong as the A-side. The A-side is really the one. The A-side wins. The B-side this time features Poker Face, again from OBS. But again, like with It's Over, he doesn't really rap on here. He just kind of does a little bit of an introduction, playing a sort of a skit, except it's in the substance of the song, like the instrumental's already started. And he's playing a character of a kind of quintessential Whack MC. He calls himself MC Rolex. In fact, it actually says featuring MC Rolex on the label. But that's just a character he's playing, sort of being the Whack MC, who then Pumpkinhead comes out and disses through the course of the entire song. So that's a fun song. I'll play a clip of that as well. But we're really here for the dynamic remix. That was this was now the late 90s. The age of the big posse cut remixes, you know, as soon as like Flavor in Your Ear had come out and they did the remix with Notorious B.I.G. and everybody else on it, and then everybody was doing that. You know, I Got 5 on it by the Loonies. It didn't matter if it was a hit record. You did a remix with everybody on it, and that's a trend that still continues to this day with songs like UOENO and stuff like that. So it's just the classic posse cut, and he really brings it home here. Here's something a little bit rare anyway. This is a promo cassette single version. Just the same 2 songs around the 12 inches, nothing exclusive on here or anything, but just the fact that there is a cassette single is pretty rare. I've seen it go once or twice on eBay for some kind of high prices. There's not very many of these out there in the world, so this is Pumpkinhead, again, dynamic remix, the cassette single. So the remix is a real crowd pleaser. It's a real fan pleaser. Who does it feature? Again, it's the big posse cut. Just largely the Making Records lineup. It features all the Natural Resources guys, including Gene Gray, but also Ocean and Meat Pie. It features his OBS guys, of course, they're on here. And then also, interestingly, a couple of guys from UTD, Urban Thermodynamics, which was Mos Def's group. But he's not actually on here. He's kind of off getting raucous famous, I guess, at about this time. But the other 2 members are on here. So it's them, and it's pretty much the entire... I'm not sure if Don Scavone is on here, but basically the entire Making Records family on here. They all come off nice. Again, they had a really solid lineup, so hearing Gene Gray at that time was just known as What, you know, that was really exciting. All the Natural Resources guys were pretty exciting, so this was a real crowd-pleasing 12-inch, and Pumpkinhead definitely holds his own on here. And it's really cool, the instrumental for this one, it's not the same thing, but it's actually the backwards horns now flipped and played forward, and they actually sound really dope and natural here, too. So it's a total literal flip of the instrumental, and it sounds really dope. So the dynamic remix, 1998.
Just when you thought it was safe, it really wasn't. Making God hard spot does it. Go tell your moms and your cousins.
Why name in your mouth? All of a sudden it's drama. What's that scoop all about? I approach you in the street, handle business like racking pins. cipher, you get no peace
Yo,
treaty.
it be that D-Y-N-A-M-I-C. I be that MC that see through crews with one eye like a monocle. It's horrible, in fact intolerable. Call me Hag all the horrible. Honorable, pardonable. You can yank these like Danny Tartable. 100% natural hits, we have cartons full. Making records is the name of the label I claim. Sister, we on the rise like a blister.
Smooth elements and suave compositions, present positions when such beats everybody listens. Dynamic like that in areas the conscious lurks. You couldn't handle the truth, cause that shit hurts. Got to maintain the thought your family comes first, and that's the main goal for this whole entire verse. Manifest your own fate, make moves, don't hesitate. You didn't know we was dynamic, papa. You just late.
I get down like James Brown, poker be sparkling, and there's no arguing. I will microwave up the cardigans, click, booyah, with the grammar. Now enter the making records manner, and forget the glamour, cause we taking another route. I'm a lion, why you seeking the dreams of a mouse? Cause the cowardly, we getting bloody money off the books. Dynamic, please hang up, we off the hook.
Dynamic, my homemaking fam's dynamic. Sinking these other crews like the Titanic. We dynamic, my homemaking fam's dynamic. Sinking these other crews like the Titanic. We dynamic. Just when you thought it was safe, we dynamic. Making records all up in your face.
I get on your last nerve like a hangnail. Damaged brain cells, don't fret pussy niggas, cause my crew aims well.
Peace. This is MC Rolex. And when I ain't rhyming about my motherfucking rollie or my motherfucking Benz, I'm getting my ass lyrically stomped out by that motherfucker Pumpkinhead. I'm representing for WACK Radio, baby. Pop that crystal.
I've been to the point of no returning back. And who you be, another MC that sounds whack. I can tag airwaves, radio frequencies, the slave. I paid more dues than the PTA. Get out my way, cause I'm on this track, full steam ahead. Hip-hop icon, soon to be #1, Pumpkinhead. Break it in your head, like the mark of the beast. Me and my crew form this abstract masterpiece. Raps and beats from the dynamic duo. Who knows this ancient Puerto Rican secret? Fat like a sumo, just to let you know. We never troop alone, making got my back like the battery piece on a cell phone. Hell is home, and we in it, son, we finished, son. Bands screaming on whack MCs, I can't get a son. I came down to this earth to rid you of these whack MCs. These whack MCs. I came down to this earth to rid you of these whack MCs. These whack MCs, I hate these whack MCs. These gun clap MCs, play a back MCs. They go lack degrees, they try to laugh at me. Corny ass MCs, they lack degrees. They know they whack. Intro, PH Buffendo behind tinted window. MCs must think slow like niggas that slip low with Bitmo.
So yeah, unfortunately, making records, the label didn't last too much longer with their classic orange sleeves here. And so Pumpkinhead had to kind of find a new home. And like I said, he's been a long career on various indie labels, kind of coming and going, doing lots of little projects, very much slept on. But these were his classic original singles. Great label, great artist. So just wanted to share some of that history. In fact, I noticed a couple of these songs, at least one or two, weren't even on YouTube at all, which is kind of surprising. So, because they are really, I would say, quintessential strong. You know, when you think of 90s hip hop, you think of guys like Natural Elements, Natural Resources, and you think of Dynamic. So, thanks for watching, and rest in peace to Pumpkinhead.